Hi, magandang hapon. Ako po si Trixie Cruz-Angeles. Ito po ang LUMINOUS. Pasensya na po na grabe na I've had a really, really full day. That plus, syempre, yung tinitignan natin yung mga pangyayari kahapon and how quickly things had moved from there, no? Ang ano natin dito is let's what exactly happened here. Yeah. Well, a lot of people believe that GMA, Congressman GMA, the former senior deputy speaker of the House of Representatives, made a power grab or attempted to unseat Speaker Martin Romualdez. Now, I think this entire issue needs to be contextualized dahil nakikita ko maraming opinions and I think there are a lot of valid opinions out there considering that the proponents or the parties involved here are very, very careful with their words lately. So, okay, so quick, quick roundup of what happened. The supposedly uh, there was an attempt daw on the part of GMA or certain of her party mates who are not being named by the way, na nag-attempt daw ng power grab and therefore ni-replace siya bilang senior deputy speaker ng Kongreso. At ni-replace siya ng isang kasamahan niya doon sa na kasamahan niya sa Pampanga, Congressman 3rd District. Uh, Initially, yung reaction ni ni CGMA, Congressman GMA, was one sentence. It's the prerogative of the House. So we could tell from that reaction, kitang-kita dun sa reaction na yun, um, parang, you know that, uh, how do you call this? I can't say galit kasi galit would imply yung, baka isipin ninyo na irrational, no? There's some people who, when they get angry, things are very, very clear in their heads. So she knew right away what happened here. Alam niya kagad na she was ousted. And she simply said, well, it's the prerogative of the House. That's real talk. Totoo naman yon. Prerogative yan ng Kongreso. You can be replaced at any time. And these are subject to certain political movements. Pag nagbago ang majority, mapapalitan yung mga heads, yung mga committee heads, kung sino yung deputy speakers, etc. So, lahat ng mga yan are subject to the vagaries or what we call the vagaries of politics. Yung mga pagkakaiba, yung mga iba-ibang pangyayari doon sa politika. Yan ang nagdidikta ng mga pagbabago dyan sa Kongreso at saka sa Senate. So, dito, biglang pinalitan siya bilang deputy speaker. And I would like to disabuse yung mga nagsasabi na hindi naman importante yung posisyon na yun. For purposes of our discussion here, it doesn't even have to be that important, but it's a symbolic gesture. Tinanggal siya. Bakit ba siya yung senior deputy speaker? Senior deputy speaker siya kasi dapat, originally, ang pagkakaintindi natin is that is that she was supposed to be the speaker. Siya yung nag-broker ng unity ng participation ni Inday, or at least this is the popular belief. Excuse me. It's sorry, I do not want to ayan na po. I didn't want to cough online. Meanwhile, say hi to Suki. Hey Suki, say hi. Suki. Okay. Busy siya. Okay. So, ang punto dito is that she was removed from opposition. A position that made her something like second only to the Speaker of the House. So, as far as she's concerned, among congressmen, kung primus inter pares first among equals si Congressman Martin Romualdez, then Congressman GMA was second among those. Hindi ko na po nabati lahat I want to conserve my voice kasi medyo nararamdaman ko na medyo parang encroaching na yung possibility na ubuhin ako. Ayan na nga. Okay, so later on she reconsidered, or obviously maybe cooler heads, or more likely is that lumilitaw-litaw na, not just on social media, but umiikot na. It was doing the rounds, the story that the reason she was removed is because there's a power play on her part. Merong attempt to grab power supposedly from the Speaker of the House. Papalitan siya. So she had to explain bakit ganito yung nangyari? O, ano yung in-explain niya? Number one, totoo naman, she entertained the idea of becoming House Speaker. Pero nung maliwanag na daw, according to her, na komportable ang Pangulo dun sa kanyang pinsan bilang House Speaker, hindi na niya pipilitin yon. Parang pinalalabas niya na, tanggap ko na to, hindi naman ako magaganyan. However, kinilala din niya, in-acknowledge din niya na kaya posibleng naisip na magka-power grab siya ay dahil nakipag-usap siya sa ilang mga kongresista sa kasama niya sa South Korea. Hindi ko alam yung purpose ng trip na yon. Pero yun. And so the natural, parang sinasabi niya, natural, iisipin nila doon kasi andun kami, nag-usap kami, and so on. Ako, ang suspetsya ko dito, parang message yun, sinasabi niya doon sa mga kasamahan niya na nandun, I know one of you did it. Parang ganon. So anyway, so yun na nga, in-explain niya yun. And then she goes further. Ni-reiterate niya yung suporta niya sa Pangulo, ni-reiterate niya yung suporta niya kay House Speaker Martin Romualdez, at parang pinangako niya, hindi na ako aasam maging House Speaker. At kung ako ay ilagay, hindi ako uupo. Kung ako ay mahalal, hindi ako magse-serve. Sure yan, hindi na daw yan. Parang this is an assurance, this is a strong message. O House leadership, makinig kayo. Hindi na ako interesado dyan simula nung maliwanag na komportable ang presidente at hindi na ako interesado pang muli. Di na mangyayari yan. Okay? What is absent in her statement? Well, basically her statement, para sa akin, kumpleto yun. Sinasabi niya kung bakit nangyari yun. Tinatanggap niya na, prerogative yan. Pwede naman akong palitan at any time. Tapos, meron pa siyang assurance. Dati, sabi niya, nung presidente ako, merong instance na nangako ako hindi ako tatakbo, pero tumakbo ako. At the time kasi, presidente ako at malawak ang hawak kong mga responsibilities. And therefore, hindi ganun kadali para sa akin na bumitiw. May hawak kong mga importanteng issue at for purposes of para matapos niya yung pagsosolve ng mga problema na yon, kinailangan niyang tumakbo para siya na rin ang makatapos sa pagsosolusyon ng mga yon. Para lang sinasabi niya ito para maniwala yung mga tao dun sa assurance niya na hindi ako mag-aasam na House Speaker na. At kumbaga itaga niyo yan sa bato. Ngayon, okay, so ito yung conventional story. Sa mga tao, umiikot sa social media and all that, sa mga diskusyon, dahil shortcut, nag-power grab si GMA and therefore tinanggal siya. Not exactly. So we'll deal with the context later on. So akala ko, sige, nag-de-escalate si GMA. That way, hindi na siya masyadong babakbakin ng mga nag-iisip nga na nag-attempt siya. At saka hindi na siya babakbakin ng mga nag-opportunistang sumipsip kay House Speaker at gusto nilang kumbaga sakyan yung issue by hammering on her. Ayaw niyang maging target siya. So that's why she opted for a de-escalation. O hindi niya lalabanan to. Hindi siya yung mag-aggressive na you're on that side and I'm on this side. So, hindi. Ayaw niyang ganon. It was a very politically, how do you call this? Politically dictated, meaning ang consideration niya doon ay strategic political communications. Okay? So, yun yung niya. So, she calculated it. And ako, if he left to that by itself, hindi na magiging issue. Okay, magda-die down. Pag-uusapan siya siguro for a week, may mga magmamaldita pa rin, pipitikin pa rin yung issue na ICE, GMA, sana yan mag-power grab, mga ganyan lalabas. Pero para sa akin, she would be able to ride it out. Anyway, congressman siya eh. Ang kanyang constituents ay doon sa probinsya or sa second district ng Pampanga. So hindi siya talaga national at hindi namimiligro yung pagka-congressman niya. Right. Ah, tapos biglang nag-resign si Vice President Inday sa lakas. Parang para ako nagulat din ako. Now, how are we going to read this resignation ni Inday? Ako, ang tingin ko because of the timing, sinabi niya doon and the two phrases stand out, 'di ba? Hindi daw siya papayag na lasunin ang kanyang serbisyo ng ano ba 'yon? Political toxicity, nor allow it to be undermined by political power play. Nax. No. So, yun yung pinaka standout na statement. Meron pa. At sinabi niya, beside the president. So, ibig sabihin, umaalis man siya sa lakas, inire-reiterate niya na andito siya, nasa posisyon siya para para magserbisyo. Okay? Now, the messaging, kailangan natin baklasin ito. What is Inday trying to tell us? What is the Vice President trying to tell us? Number one, umalis siya, the clear thing is, I am no longer associated with Lakas CMD. At sabi niya is political toxicity and execrable political power play. Yan. Execrable, parang equivalent to SHIT. 'Di ba? It's the adjective that brings that close. Execrable political power play. So, ngayon, ang sinasabi ng guys, ako I'm almost up to here with kasi yan pahiya yung pure, so loyalista and all that. Come on, guys, seriously. Do you ever hear Inday or the president talk in those terms? Kaloka kayo. So, what is the rule in politics? The rule is addition. It's not division. Unless you're looking to power grab. Okay? So, ngayon, ito yung hindi maliwanag. Sino yung tinutukoy ni Inday about power grabs? Sino yung pinupuntirya niya? Well, clearly, she was referring to the party. That's why iniiwan niya. Or at least in generic, kung sino yung responsible para sa power grab na ito. Kung sino yung kung sino yung responsible for this political toxicity. Ayaw. Okay? No, we're here to serve. Wag naman yung ganyan. So, what about the rest of it? Diba? What about GMA? What about Speaker Martin? So, nakikita natin what are the narratives now that are springing up. Para sa akin, simple lang to. Ang statement ni Inday is, magsiservisyo ako. Inelect nyo ako. And this is what I am in office for, to serve the people, to solve certain problems such as those that are in education. I am not here to play those games. Nice. Can we take this as a condemnation of GMA? No, wala siyang sinabing ganon. Wala siyang inaanong ganon. In fact, she doesn't point to any particular person being responsible for the toxicity or any person responsible for the execrable political power play. Now, GMA's statement is clear. She denies that there was any power play. But that is the narrative now being spun by so many people who are placing their support to Speaker Martin Romualdez. Ako personally, if GMA made the power play, it wouldn't be this clumsy. Remember, she's too good at it. Nagbabasa siya ng sitwasyon, marunong yan tumiming. So hindi ko naiisip na kung merong mga power play dito, why would it have been this clumsy? If it was this clumsy, it could not have been GMA. But that's me, that's my opinion. I'm pretty sure everybody else's opinion would be equally valid as long as it's supported by the circumstances. Okay. So what's the bad guy here in this entire scenario? The bad guy is execrable political power play and political toxicity. So, iniwan na ni Inday ang lakas CMD. It remains the majority in the House. But now we have both a president and a vice president with no clear party. While the president is part of the PFP, Partido Federal, he does not appear to have been active there. And we know that in large part, the president is supported by his cousin, who is Speaker of the House. Sabi ni JV Manila, hi, haven't seen since the elections, but I'm happy to see na di nabawasan ng kagandahan mo. Nax! Wala pa pong barya, dapat buuin niya yung bigay. I don't follow other bloggers anymore, but will always be here. Keep up the good work. Uy, salamat. So, ako, ah, I don't know if this is a romantic notion, ha? But I think that Inday gives credit to her mentor. It is after GMA did make huge contributions, not just to her campaign, but in learning the ropes of national politics. So, and then she's clear in her support of the president. But outside of those people, she, kumbaga, she sends a clear message. Oy, trabaho naman dyan pag may time. Ay, hindi lang pag may time, di ba? So, I don't know. Some people that aren't aware, aren't sure yet of what to think. Eh para sa akin, all of these political talk, these carefully calibrated statements are masking certain intentions. Well, not just intentions, but masking certain clear political stances. Possibly because there are timings for these things. But attorney, sabi ni Ma'am Yolanda, wala talagang balak tumigil sa politika si GMA. How old is she? Uy naman, ma'am. Huwag naman tayo ageist. Si na Winston Churchill was serving even well into his 90s, di ba? Sina Mahathir and all that. Age is not an issue. Um, I suppose yung sinasabi niya is you're just tired of her. Pero wag naman natin gawing issue na it's about age. Maybe you're already I think your clear message here really is that we want new blood in politics, and there's a lot of that. There's a lot of it naman. Ah, sabi ni Jason Gracias, Arroyo is part of Lakas, right? Yes, but clearly is no longer in the leadership of Lakas. Although, well, or might not any longer be within the leadership of Lakas. Ewan ko lang. Kasi former president siya. Certainly she's accorded respect and how do you call this? And is looked up to. Possibly holds sway, di ba? Can be very convincing. However, yun na nga, with these things happening, ang worry ko is what I'm seeing, based lang dun sa mga galaw-galaw, is that uh, the Speaker Martin's people are openly hostile to GMA. And I'm not sure if this is a good thing right now. Di ba unity? So, also, there doesn't seem to be any effort on the part of any person, maliban lang dun sa mga nakikita ko online, to substantiate the alleged power play. So, we know that it exists because the vice president acknowledged its existence. We know that the Congressman GMA denies that it came from her. And yet, gumalaw yung house eh. So clearly there was a trigger here somewhere. Bakit hindi lumilitaw yung mga detalye ng alleged power grab? And why are the congressmen pointing towards GMA? Kung nag-uusap pa lang sila, if kasi may lumabas sa politiko kanina, ang sabi may mga nilapitan siya for support to oust Speaker Martin. Now, look at the response, ha. Kung totoo yun, na it was simply it's not really a power play, no? But it happens all the time. Lalo na pagka parliamentary. That happens all the time. Shifting alliances, public opinion, party movements, etc., can result in changes of leadership. And it's not considered a power grab. Well, maybe it is. Pero, uh, is that necessarily wrong? Of course, dun sa part ni na Speaker Martin, you tried to challenge my position. Therefore, you're no longer aligned with our political interests. That one I understand. But I'm worried about the lack of substantiation. We're not hearing anything from the Lakas stalwarts or the primary supporters of Speaker Martin about the details of what GMA allegedly did. Sabi ni Ma'am Marisa Torres, we need a politician like VP Sara. She's for people, not for power. Ma'am, excuse me, that's not true. The reason she can be for service and for the people is precisely because she's already in power. Okay, let's not sugarcoat this. That's why she's saying, you elected me, you put me in position to serve, therefore I will serve. Pero importante was that she was put into position, she was elected. So, yung other politicians natin, since they wouldn't be able to coast the opposition the same way that VP Inday did, we have to acknowledge, special siya. People love her in general. But other politicians not so. And so they will engage in politicking. They will engage in ang ayaw lang naman ni Inday yung toxicity, yung political toxicity. Now, I don't know how toxic it is the way she perceives it. Kasi tayo nasa labas tayo. Di ko alam kung siya napupuruhan na sila. At what we know is that she disagrees with Lakas. She disagrees with something, that's why she leaves it. And so, ang tingin ko dito is that she either disagrees with the power grab, power play, or she disagrees with how it was handled. We're not sure. We'll just have to keep guessing dito. Um, Sabi ni Cooking, ewan ko pero parang si FL at speaker ang problema. Maria Maldita says, wow, nice, nakalugay. Galing akong parlor, so I was tired of my hair, so I needed to get stuff that I needed to get it colored. Is this the reason why VP Sara was initially asking for the position of Secretary of Defense? I don't think it has anything to do with that. Please don't advertise other vloggers here, just as a matter of respect. We can do that, but parang awa niya naman, di ba? It's just not respectful, yun lang. Even if they are friends. Nakafocus si VP Sara sa nakaatang sa kanya na trabaho. Kudos kay VP Sara sa decision niya. Yes. Attorney, so given these present circumstances and development, what is the significance to the ordinary one? VP Inday has made public her standards. Kailangan magtrabaho. And this is a very, I think this is a message to, as they say, every all, na why are you spending so much time in the politicking when there's so much work to be done? Kumbaga, bato-bato sa langit na lang. Sabi ni Pao, ang akala natin tatahimik lang si Inday. She went out early sa party, which is a good call habang maaga pa. I need to charge. So, kaya umagalaw ako. So, what do you mean she went out early sa party? What does that mean? Oops. Nawawala yung aking charger ng Apple. Okay, so as we were saying, ayun. What does that mean when you say she went out early sa party? I don't understand. Good evening kay Nonoy Ipes. Good afternoon. Mufasa says, when the most quiet one is making a move, there must be something really fishy or wrong here. Well, yun na nga. let's not ignore the earth-shaking effect of what she has done. She has left her party, claiming saying that she will not allow political toxicity to poison her service. Uh, what does that mean? It's for me, it's it's a very strong message that we should not ignore. Something she got ticked off, pero ang ano nga lang dito is to whom was it directed? So I'm expecting that some people will claim it was directed at GMA, but some people will claim it was directed at certain party stalwarts. Some people will claim it was directed at the party leadership. But for me, I think it was directed at the incident. Bakit kayo nagkakaganito? Samantalang ang daming trabahong kailangan gawin. Anong partido ni Senator Amy? Hindi ko po alam. Tingnan natin. Kasi I think she might have a local party. I don't know what party she used to run eh. Dali lang po. So I hope you don't mind na tumayo ako because I need to get my charger. Okay, good evening sa lahat. Sabi ni Ma'am RG, attorney ano pong partida? Yun pala yun. Okay. Sabi ni Guardian Mindanao 2.0, wala na daw unity. I don't think so. Sorry. My bed is elevated. That's why it's not that easy to climb up. So, what were you saying? Sabi ni Ma'am Cheryl, kung sumunod lang si VPSD kay Tatay Digong, maiiba siguro ang circumstances ngayon. Sinunod niya si GMA, yun pala ang gusto ni GMA, maging Speaker of the House, kaya isa siya sa bumuo ng BBM Sara Tandem. No, I think na, ano mo yun, a lot of people, when they contribute to something, particularly to elections, they ask in return a position in government. We should not be surprised to that. That's political tit for tat, give and take. Do you honestly think that there will be people who will? I mean, there are people who contribute and then don't expect to be appointed, di ba? And then there are people who contribute and they get appointed even without being asked. And then there are people who contribute with the full expectation that they will get something in return, which is an appointment. Sabi ni Ma'am Yolanda, thanks attorney. Yes, new blood. I will support VP Sara. I want her to do her own moves without GMA around. Yep. Ako, I'm watching Inday very closely. Sorry, the Vice President very closely. Para sa akin kasi I will take my cue from her. She leaves lakas. I agree. Her call for service. Kasi that's basically what it is eh. It's a call for service. Deliver services to the people. That's your job. Siguro hindi tatanggapin ni VP Inday ang president position kung i-impeach nila si PBBM. I don't think there's any talk of that. Yung sinasabi na na GMA wants to be speaker because posibleng ma-impeach si PBBM is very very para sa akin na off the radar. It's pure speculation. There's no talk about impeachment right now. Baka lang po masyado silang napraning sa abilidad ni si GMA dahil po sa galing niya. Sabi nga po, small but terrible or walang malaking nakakapwing. Okay, yeah. I get where you're coming from on that one. Sabi ni James Ayla, bakit bilib na bilib kayo kay GMA? Truth be told, na ginamit lang siya ng mga taong maimpluwensya sa pangalan niya bilang makapagal at child of former president. Hindi. I have personal experience with GMA, both against her and, I also interviewed her several times. She is as smart as they say she is. And, she survived challenges by the military to her presidency. Several attempts, in fact, 3 that I know of. I know this for a fact because as legal counsel in the courts martial. So, yung sinasabi ninyong bilib na bilib, may pinanggagalingan naman yan. But believe in her abilities. We don't know yet what exactly she did. Kaya hindi ko rin, parang ang kapal ko naman, ikondenahin siya. Hindi ko nakikita kung saan nanggagaling yung claim na she made a power grab. Eh yun na nga, she de-escalated immediately. She told us kung saan nanggagaling yung yung hinala na ganon. So, let's see. But I do share the concern of some people online who are saying na, you know, we're seeing a very powerful family. The president is head of the executive, and a significant weight of power is given to the cousin who is the head of one branch of the legislature. So, what are you talking about, Vicente Aviles? What happened to your artistic sense? The color combo is trying to compete with your wisdom, wits, and beauty. What combination are you talking about? I'm in my room and I am wearing purple. So what? Initially, the reason I was wearing purple was because it goes great with background in DWIZ. It's out of context na now. Kahit siguro New Blood, kung ang goal nila pang epic, baka may issue pa din. Wala talagang perfect. Totoo yun, but we shouldn't also be very happy with mediocrity, ha? Kung sabihin niyo walang, of course, walang perfect given yan. We're all human. So, we have to accept certain mistakes because these are failings, human failings. Pero pagka naman sobra-sobra yung human failings at walang development nangyayari, we are not here to provide the tuition fee for a learning experience, kumbaga. Sabi ni Adrian, the VP just showed to us all how she has grown so much into a more mature and sophisticated politician in less than a year in office. I'm excited to see her further growth in the next 5 years. Yep. An interesting comparison would be Speaker Martin and, of course, the Vice President. Well, so in GMA. Okay, both GMA and Inday Sara, the Vice President, are children of former presidents. Of course, Speaker Martin is a nephew of a former president. So, in their own jurisdictions, all three of these can run without any fear of losing. Kumbaga, except that both GMA and Inday have proven themselves on a national stage. On the other hand, in this one, Speaker Martin is being challenged in his leadership, so he needs to rise to the occasion and show, hindi kasi masyadong nakikita pag nasa house kasi mostly ang kausap mo yung mga kongresista. We do need to point out that Speaker Martin has worked very well with the president kasi dun sa 31 priority bills, 24 na po ay napasa ng House with at least one of them already waiting for signature of the president. The Senate is looking to possibly be able to pass 5 before the end of the congressional term. Ma'am Cheryl says, hindi talaga mapagkakatiwalaan si Romualdez at Marcos. Gumagalaw na sila, siraan sina GMA at VPSD. Ay, subukan nila kay Inday. Diba? Ano po stand niyo sa panawagan ng iba sa Let Sara Duterte lead the country? Isn't she already leading? She is the vice president. What are you talking about? So, Senator Amy KBL yata. Siguro nga. Unity ni President Araneta at Romualdez unity ang sabi ni Ma'am Lane, I love your hair, so black and shiny and straight. Well, bagong parlor. Sabi ni Facebook user, it started sa failed coup. GMA Group allegedly organizing a coup for the speaker, Lakas versus Lakas. That made toxicity to VP political party, and it's a great decision by VP to leave the party and focus on her very loaded work. Like I said earlier on, it can be read that way. Na nainis siya. Well, nainis siya sa politicking. That part is clear. But is she angry at GMA or is she angry at somebody else? To whom does she ascribe the political toxicity? And para sa akin, hindi ko pa nakikita yung ebidensya that GMA initiated a coup. Okay? Seriously. We have a say-so and a refutation. In other words, the GMA said something like, they probably thought that that was an attempt when I talked to several congressmen when we were in Korea. Siyempre, meron din people na sumusugod sa Malacanang para may press release at para magmukhang may ginagawa. That's an interesting one. But I agree. Yes, there are people like that. Um, Robert says Sarah was put in the dark by the party resignation is the only answer the party will destroy her. Basta for me, the party no longer works for her. She left it. And for me, that's a wake up call to the party. There's something that needs to be addressed. The message of the vice president is that we trabaho, service before all of this politicking. And in other words, she sees that there's more politicking than there is than there's actual work. May power tripper talaga ata sa loob ng Malacanang na feeling presidente ng Pilipinas. Opinion ko lang po, as a Filipino, okay lang, may opinion kayo. Akala nila pag-aari na nilang Pilipinas, gumagapang na sila papunta kay Sarah. Well ako, it's simple. For me, si Vice President is very capable. And if she needs help, all she needs to do is call out and we will all be there for her. Di ba? I'm assuming that you all feel the same way. Pero ako, pag nagpanawagan yan si Inday, Ma'am, where, when, and how high do I jump? So, sabi Facebook user, Tony shows that VP is bigger than Lakas and she knows it. And so do we. Sabi ni Datu Ron, masyadong positive vibe si VP Sara para sa mga sakim na tao. Good for her na umalis siya sa toxic na tao. Sabi ni M and Frada, you remind me of LA Lakers. Nice here. Thank you. Sabi ni Pao, si FL po ba ang sinasabing baggage ni BPM according to Tatay Digong? What did he say exactly? I'm not sure. Tulfo for president, ew, sabi ni Joe simply. Anyway, kahit na anong gawin nila next president na si VP Inday. Yes, but that doesn't mean that we should, ano ba to, napapabayaan na natin siya. Kasi ay, sure win naman yan si Inday. Wag kampante! Okay. Wag kampante. Basta, things will become clearer as the days go by. The way I see it. But VP Inday left Lakas. That's the long and short of it. They demoted GMA and then Inday leaves. So, yun yung progression of events. Now, how are we going to read that? For me, the VP was just sick of the politicking and she left. But she's not saying kung sino yung may kasalanan. And that's why, for me, it's significant na umalis siya after the move was to dump GMA. So that might be part of her decision to leave. For me, that's the prevailing view. She left because of that. But let's see. She's maintained naman that she will maintain her good relations with the speaker and with the congressmen and all that. Of course, because they're politicians. That's my problem kasi when politicians talk, you have to sugarcoat everything. You can't confront people directly and so on because politics is addition. And so you want to put across a message, but in order to do that, there's a certain way of talking so that you don't make enemies but you still get your point across. Uh, Joel Corona says malayo po pa ang 2028 pero sa palagay ko Duterte Romualdez ang maaaring tandem. Sabi ni BJ, kasalanan ni Toxic. Ayun. Sabi ni Stormy, also waiting for Sarah's announcement. So, ganun lang yan. So, for me, let's reduce the statement, the events. GMA was demoted. She said the House can do it. She further clarifies because she was being accused na. Lumalabas na yung communications that she was being accused of making a power grab. She clarifies it, seeks to de-escalate. Vice President Inday is not having any of it and says, I resign from Lakas. Parang, di ba, nung una, it was only bickering, tempest in a teapot. It's only all inside the house. Then suddenly, VP Inday throws in her weight and says, I am leaving. So now the story is about Inday. It takes away the pressure from GMA and it takes away, but it will require some explaining on the part of the House. I'm hoping that, that things get clarified even further with the passing days. Sabi ni N, sana nga po these mysteries of the palace reveal na very soon. Haha, it's like a tiring telenovela na. Sabi ni Juju, I don't see any opposition pa na pwedeng makatapat ni VP Inday na susunod na eleksyon. Yes, but that doesn't mean that there won't be somebody coming up soon. And we also have to be on guard na hindi siya sisiraan ng mga potential enemies later on. Sabi ni Mufasa, I really trust VP Inday's principles. Basta ako, Inday Sara all the way. Same, same. Sabi ni Ma'am Chichay, I believe VP Sara won't do this stab against BBM. No, of course she won't do that. I don't think, and she hasn't aligned herself with anything like that. She will just work kung anong bibigay ng tao sa kanya, she will just support BBM. Sabi ni Roderick, pag ang presidente ay mahusay, a 6-year term is too short, tulad ni Tatay Digong. Sabi ni Dato Ron, wag naman sana Duterte Romualdez, sana Duterte Villar. Alam niyo, ang aga pa. Isa lang ang sure ko, Duterte. Ito, sabi ni Major Payne, CGMA is a very strong political influence and a very clever person. Some people are just very afraid of what she's capable of, hence the move behind her back. Actually, I think I agree with this statement. So, if you're going to take on CGMA, I think people should be prepared for whatever it is she does after that. Sabi ni James, hirap sa admin ni PBBM sa ngayon, ang daming mga how very picturesque na nakapaligid sa kanya, political linta mga eh. Sabi ni Dina O'Brien, did the House decide to clip GMA's wings without proper or credible proof? And why would VP Sara leave without giving any reason? We assumed she did like the politicking, but everything is politics and SD knows that. That's also another good way of putting it. In other words, what we're saying is that there isn't really enough evidence yet to, a lot of it is being obfuscated by the parties involved. That let's call a spade, diba? Nobody's actually clarifying anything. But what we can see are just movements. Sabi ni DGR Katie, Lakas didn't see that coming. The resignation of Inday Sara, haha, strong words, tusok sa ngalang-ngalang nila. Attorney TCA, ay, nawala, nasa na yan? Grabe, ang bilis bigla ng dami kong na-miss. Sandali ang dami kong napindot ba ako? Ayun. VP Sara left Lakas, CMD. Sabi ni Hani, baka tumakbo si Martin pagka-presidente. Well, he's qualified. Sabi ni BJ Cans, correct, bakit ka mananatili sa grupo na may duda sa'yo? May duda sa kanino? Kay GMA siguro. Yung totoo, parang di naman kailangan ni VP Sara ng partido. That's true, but that's the machinery eh. Yan yung gumagalaw para sa'yo eh. VP Sara masipag like FPRRD kahit wala pa magsabi na magaling siya. Basta trabaho lang siya. I think VP Sara, example ng public servant, hindi talaga siya sayang ang buwis ng mga Pilipino. VP Sara, kaya sabi ni Ma Nancy, ang dahilan kaya na-demote si GMA pero iwas gulo si VP Inday kaya yon eskapo. I don't think so. I don't think so. Away house ito eh. Sabi ni ako to, sino nagsabi no na Romualdez Duterte tandem? Oh please, wala nang Romualdez. Grabe naman kayo. Ang honest. Sabi ni Ron, late ako, just wanted to ask, meron na ba kayo narinig o nagkakarambulungan na ba kayo on the reason why? Kasi kahit hindi pa confirmed or almost everybody is still in the dark. Meron, pero I don't think we're in a position to repeat it. Sabi ni Lisa, naranasan mo rin yan, working together with this administration. Tignan mo ngayon, blooming ka. Noon, hindi mo malaman kung paano mo ipagtatanggol ang presidente. Puna ko lang. Grabe naman kayo, madam. Hindi naman po. Actually, I like working with the president, but he's just busy talaga. The president is a good man. Do you honestly think VP Inday would stand by President BBM if she didn't think that he was a good person? And ako, for a fact, I can tell you, he is a good person. Um, it's just na it's really difficult to be president. No, most people think they want it so badly. The truth is, hunting power, it's like driving, sanay ka mag-drive ng kotse, and then suddenly binigay sa'yo tangke. So, tapos ine-expect na you drive at the same speed, and kumbaga hahabol ka sa speed ng mga kotse at saka sa maneuverability. Daddy Pau says, could you imagine na si RT siraan niya si VP Inday kasi sanay si RT sa paninira? Yeah, but he does that at the peril of his political career. Verhel says, ako, attorney, solid Inday pa din mula ngayon hanggang 2028. Uy, pag nanalo si Inday, dapat solid pa rin doon. So, beyond 2028. Sabi ni Ma'am Joan, not happening ang Duterte Romualdez. Kaya nga nag-resign si Sara dahil nainis siya sa political toxicity ng lakas CMD. Sabi ni Rain, ay nawala ko. Nasaan na yung kay Rain? Sabi ni Jamie Moore, I guess hindi na kailangan ni VP Inday yung political party as machinery. Social media is enough na. No po. No po. You still need that. Actually, very brave nga si Inday eh. She was given the opportunity, from what I hear she was given the opportunity to, to put some of her people in certain positions. No, give the president a free hand. Hindi ako sasama dun sa mga nakikigulo dun pa sa ibang posisyon. No. Bakit ang tahimik kanina ni Boss Jonat? Sabi ni Boss, Joss simply. Parang marami siyang gustong sabihin pero tiko mang bibig mo na pakispoil naman please. Alam nyo, grabe kayong mag-interpret. Didn't you consider the possibility na tahimik siya because he's still trying to process the events? Kasi the day before, di ba ang sinasabi niya, no, it's a misunderstanding, it's only this, ganyan. Na merong ibang gumalaw dyan, di naman si GMA, wala yan, it'll settle down, the dust will settle. Suddenly, Inday resigns. That changes the equation. Sabi ni Robert, Inday should start building now, stay away from the politicians, start from the young blood military men. Military. What is your reaction when RT requested a ban in Kuwait? 47,000 and counting are suffering because of the outcome, and RT are silent about this. I think that Senator Tulfo needs to learn a bit more of diplomacy. Anong proseso para maging national party ang hugpong? Alam na ni Inday yan. Ina-apply po yan sa COMELEC. I forgot the requirements, pero dapat national yung scope. Sabi ni Quiz, VP Sara knows FPRRD paborito na linya. There's a time for everything, kaya focus lang sa work si VP Sara. Kahit walang partido si Inday Sara at maging independent candidate lang, iboboto ko pa rin siya, sabi ni Bamboo Ma. Sabi ni Charlie Whiskey, support Sara, naka-all caps pa siya, offer emphasis daw. Kahit alam ng lahat ng tao na, you're yelling at me when you're all caps, which is why we ask people not to do all caps here. Gayon pa man, sige, since you might be new. No, you're not new, you're Charlie Whiskey. So why are you yelling at me? You support Sarah, didn't she assault a sheriff? Assault, not assaulted. While implementing a court order, um, it wasn't called an assault, and she has been, a case has been filed against her. So why don't we wait for the results of that case? It wasn't a criminal case. Okay. Kaabang-abang talaga at makulay ang politika ng Pinas, parang teleserye ni Cardo Dalisay, sabi ni Ma'am Nancy. Sure kami kay Inday na hindi kami mabubudol. Ayun, sabi ni Rain, Yellow's lurking again, calling not to let Marcos or Romualdez be president. What do you want? Cayetanos, Pimentels, Tulfos. Oh, come on, Rain. We all know that it's Inday that we want. There's no talk of Cayetanos and Tulfos and Pimentels. Let's not tweak the sentiments. Sabi ni Pao, ngayon si Bong Revilla ng face ng lakas, CMD, good luck na lang sa tingin ng mas sa party ninyo. Sabi ni Sir Francis Cayetano, yes, same kayo ni Prof. Clarita, nakita first-hand magtrabaho si PBBM, pero ibang banat sa mga nakapaligid sa kanila. Well, kasi he's president. Well, ewan ko for me, the president kasi you're on top. You're supposed to be giving orders. You're supposed to have the vision. You're supposed to be helping craft the policy and so on. You set the direction. Yung mga tao that are supposed to carry out those directives and to actualize yung vision niya, they need some catching up to do. Sabi ni Ma'am Tess, grabe ang daming anti-BBMT. Ay, nako. But everybody can be heard. Sabi ni Red, because of the chismis against FL, malabong may Marcos and Romualdez na mananalo sa next election. Powerful ang mga vloggers to spread information. Sabi ni Lindsay, what is your reaction? Nasagot na natin yan. Posible kayang VP Inday and Amy Marcos sa 2028 given the current situation? I think anything's possible. Why not? Sobrang naman po power trip ng mga nakaupo kahit 1 year pa lang sila. Grabe. Si RT balak magpresidente. Could you imagine si RT siraan si VP Inday para lang manalo? Doon kasi si RT malakas paninira. Shani De La Rosa says, 1 taon pa lang si PBBM, bigyan niyo muna ng space. Ako ang nanawagan yan, ha? Ako yung original nagsabi niyan. Diba? Sinabi ko, let's give him some time. 1 year is a good, because he has to make a report sa SONA. Pero hindi tayo forever magpapasensya kasi pera ng taong bayan ang binabayad sa mga sweldo ng mga cabinet officials at ibang mga members, ibang mga kawani ng ehekutibo. Kung hindi sila nagpe-perform, corruption yun. Kasi kumukuha ka ng pera, di ka nagtatrabaho o di ka nagtatrabaho ng maayos. Nanakawan niya yung taong bayan. So, pagbibigyan natin, syempre, you need to give people a chance to settle into their position. And with the case of the president, not only should he settle into position, but that he should be given the opportunity to, to assess, to set the direction, and so on. And so now, we're expecting a SONA report of the state of the nation. Pagka hindi umigiig ang buhay natin o kulang ang pag-iigi ng buhay natin compared to the effort that we put into it and the money that we poured into it. And if there are way too many people in the private sector benefiting from government assets without the commensurate payment to government, then of course it is up to us to call out the leadership. Sabi nila kay video, basta alam ko sec ng tourism department is doing great. Maganda mga plano. No doubt naging spokeswoman person siya ni VP Inday before. And how does that help her be a good VP, a good Secretary of Tourism? Pakisabi nga. Did you read the plan? Seriously, did you read the plan? Did you? Ay, nako. Don't get me started on this one. I think you need to watch Karambola. We discussed that eh. Di ko lang maalala kung anong date. Sabi ni Erwin, honestly, ang nangyayari ay mga taong nakapaligid kay BBM ang sumisira sa mga plano niya. Kung di niya kakapunin ang mga yon, it will be his downfall. Ito, sabi ni Sir Francis, naging showbiz na mga tao, pati facial expression, gesture, salita, inintriga. Alam niyo ba yon? Sa TikTok, meron ako, nire-report ko yung nangyari kay GM. At sabi ko, stay tuned for more. Yung mga ganon, di ba? Tapos alam niyo naman ako, nangingiti ako talaga. Ba, may nag-message sa akin. Gusto niya ilagay doon. So actually, kasi she wanted to post it on my wall and say, ano ba yan? Bakit parang tuwan-tuwa ka pa? Ngingiti-ngiti ka pa dyan habang nagre-report ka. Ano, tuwan-tuwa ka sa nangyayari? Gusto mo magulong bayan? Palibasa, pure ka eh. So, talaga. Alam mo, pag inatake yun sa puso, she'll find a way to make it my fault eh. Sabi ni Rafael, happy ka ba sa performance ni BBM? Ganito yan, hindi ko pa siya ma-assess sa overall performance. There are policies that I agree with and there are policies that I disagree with. I agree with the policy na tutukan ng agriculture, hindi ako agree with all that importation. Hindi ako agree sa ayuda, but I agree na dapat tutukan natin at tinuloy niya yung 4-piece program and he also advocated for the cleaning up of beneficiaries list. Hindi masyadong nalalabas sa media yan. So, I disagree with expanding EDCA. I disagree with showing too much favor towards one party that's heading for a conflict. But, I agree that he must take care of the economy of the country first. Sabi ni RG Chell, ang aga pa sa next election po. Sana focus muna sila sa mga work nila. Ma'am, tignan nyo naman kung sino yung mga politika na gumagalaw. Hindi po maaga yan. Kasi yung para sa kanila, i.e. congressmen, ang election nila is 2025, not 2028. So, huwag niyong iisipin na the only elections there are, national elections. When po kaya papasok ang mga sec sa government natin? That really will be up to the president. Sabi ni Ma'am Jo, nakala ni Tulfo si FPRRD siya na kayang takutin ng Kuwait. It backfired big time. Sabi ni Sense, classic case of divide and conquer. These issues must have come from outside forces. Kumikilos na sila para makabalik sa pwesto. Alam nila hanggat buo ang BBM at Inday, malabo silang makabalik. Actually, wala namang issue sa BBM Inday eh. Nobody's saying that. But the issue is that Ma'am Inday left Lakas CMD, with whom also the president strongly identifies with. After all, it is his first cousin who is the head. So, kumbaga, kung titignan natin sa alignments alone, it's a lot more complicated than that. And to her credit, VP said she's standing by the president. Okay? Immutable daw yung mga pangako niyang ganon. Sabi ni Atan, may comments po ba kayo sa statement ni Harry Roque tungkol sa ban ng OFWs? Di wag. Nadidisappoint ako sa kanya. Maybe he didn't have time lang to explain it. Sabi ni Marlon Garcia, remember, hindi niya pinili ang PDP laban nung nakaraang eleksyon. Uy, ano naman, dahil malamang naguguluhan din siya sa nangyayari sa loob ng partido. Hindi nga magulo ang partido ngayon ng PDP laban. So bakit niya dinadamay? Ito yung hindi ko nagigets ha. You think that by comparing a situation, parang yung mga, when somebody says, ay hindi nila gusto yung ano, ah, hindi daw nila gusto, ano ba to? Halimbawa, may mga nagsasabi, hindi nila gusto ang nangyayari sa larangan ng agrikultura. May hihirit. Nung panahon nga ni Duterte, ganito, ganito. It doesn't solve the problem. Okay, now, assuming na meron ganong problema in the previous administration, sa tingin niyo ba walang responsibility yung current administration to address those problems that were left behind? Hindi ba obligasyon yun? And if they don't, then that will be part of the sa pagkakilatis ng performance. So, I'm not angry. I just, mabilis lang ako magsalita. These comparisons that come from nowhere lack a certain amount of logic. What's our game to those who are following the sycophants toying Duterte? What do you mean toying Duterte? Split, what's our game? Split unit team, too obvious. To pit Bonget and Aimee, this is too much. You think you commenters doing good, you add more fuel. Meron kayo nire-reactan. Sorry, I thought you were talking to me. Sabi ni Rafi, as a former constituent of Inday Sara in Davao, I can really tell anyone that Sara always has her heart in service, and it is great to know that it hasn't changed now that she's on the national stage. Inday Sara all the way. The issues must have come from outside sources, sabi ni Sense. Kumikilos sila para makabalik sa pwesto. Hindi po. Kasi kung outside forces yan, ba't aalis si Inday sa lakas CMD? Kung ang problema ay nasa labas, as in outside of government or outside of the party, or outside of the coalition she is informally part of with the BBM administration, then why would she have done that? Christopher says Imelda Marcos's role were mostly social events and public appearances. What is the current First Lady's role? Isn't it the same? She also does charitable work the same way that all the former First Ladies have done. I think you really need to ask the question more directly. Some people don't like her style. Don't couch it in in a question like that. The First Lady is the First Lady. She has social events, she has public appearances, and she's charitable works. Nanonood ka po kay Maharlika. Grabe dami niyang alam kasi may puting ahas siya sa Malacca. I try as much as possible to watch her. I just don't have the time to be consistent. Ito, maganda yung sinabi ni Rogue Gaming. Importante ginalaw na ni VP Sara ang baso. Yes, because you know what? She has been so very careful in the past year. She has made very few controversies that she willingly gets into. One is calling out, of course, yung mga CPP, NPA, yung mga nagkakadal ng mga terrorist groups, ganyan. She's taken a stand on that one. With everything else, she has been very polite and very politic, agreeing with the president, smile for the cameras. This one, you're right. Ginalaw niya ang baso. She is felt. And this is a major decision, leaving a party. Hindi lang, marami lang kasi ang hindi clear. But definitely, the vice president has spoken. Parang, bow to your liege. Sabi ni Pulang Rosas, okay naman siguro si BBM. Kaso nga, hindi naman siya ang may tunay na At halata naman din. Glorious Visitation says, grabe ang maximum niyan, 100 days lang, hindi buong taon. Malulubog naman ang buong bansa kung hintay lang ng hintay, wala naman. Ang sinasabi ni Madam, ang max dapat 100 days lang. Ma'am, ang sinasabi ninyo is the honeymoon period. Ako kasi, um, PBBM was in the legislature for a long time. Iba po kasi ang executive. Hindi po ba conflict of interest ginagawa ni RT na araw-araw andun siya sa show niya? Um, hmm. As long as he doesn't get paid, I think. So far public service, double check ko yan. Ah. Sabi ni Arnel, and I would like to deal with this issue before we close. Marami ditong nagko-comment na DDS supporters na anti-Marcos, maghintay na lang kayo na maging presidente si Inday Sara, hindi nyo na pwedeng ibalik si PRRD. There are people who are pro-PRRD who miss him and say na namimiss namin si PRRD. What I'm wondering is why you're reacting to that. Isn't it natural na mamimiss namin si PRD? Hindi ba natural na somebody that we supported for a long time and who made us feel like we were part of governance, hindi ba obvious na mamimiss namin sila? It is not an attack on the president, on his administration, when we say that we miss PRRD. He had a different style. He made us feel we belonged. And that's not gonna go away. Not gonna go away anytime soon. And nobody's saying, balik si PRRD lagay dyan sa ano, at least not in any serious sense. Sure, we miss him. Don't take that against anyone. Marilupi Connie says, mga nasa cabinet, unahin ng paggawa o bilihan ng bilyon-bilyon na ari-hari, isa na yang, oy grobe. Kung wala kayong tiwala sa Pangulo, sabi ni Basilio, dapat di nyo siya binoto. Kung hindi palabas nyo na nabudol kayo. Wait, no sir, that's not the right attitude. When we vote for a person, we invest in him or her. So, kaya natin kino-call out ang presidente minsan is because we love him. We want him to succeed. We voted for him. May investment kami that he does well. So wag niyong sasabihin na ano, of course may hindi ako agree dun sa ibang mga terms na ginagamit. Pero hindi rin ako agree na you'll get triggered by it. They're just expressing their feelings and feelings are neither right nor wrong. You can call out mistakes in fact. And you know, even PBBM knew that the transition would take some doing on the part of the people as well as on himself, because the expectation, he knew very well that he would be compared. Siya nga hindi siya nagagalit bakit kayo nagagalit? Wala namang damage to the president when they miss the former president. And wala ding damage when people are capable of simply expressing their frustrations. Pero wala kang nakikitang nagsasabi na aklas. Walang nagsasabi na na palitan or anything like that in any serious sense. And the reason we have freedom of speech is so that people can vent also. That's one of the reasons. And kung pipigilan nyo sila mag-vent, lalaki lang po yung galit. Hayaan nyo, people will adjust. Ganun naman talaga ang buhay. Pero parang hindi naman yata fair na pipigilan ninyo ang criticism or pipigilan ninyo yung hopes and aspirations. Dapat di nyo siya binoto. Binoto nga, magaling yung campaign team na-convince ang mga tao. Don't take that against them because that's exactly what we wanted them to do. Diba? Bakit kayo nagagalit? Diba kasama kami dyan sa pagkukonvince sa taong bayan na iboto siya? Kung tayo yung nagkamali, kung kami yung nagkamali, why are you taking it against us na we got people to vote for him? Wag namang ganun. Sabi ni Ma'am Gloria, basta against EDCA, ayaw kay PBBM. Ma'am, hindi po. I disagree. Kasi hindi ako agree sa polisiya na parang inabandona natin yung friend to all, enemy to none. At yung pagpapagawang ganap ng EDCA parang masyado tayong panig sa Amerika at sinabi rin mismo ni President BBM na part of the reason na pumapanig siya dito at in-expand ang EDCA ay para paghandaan ang posibleng maging conflict sa Taiwan. So, we can be against the policy and still be for the president. Yan po ang demokrasya. Hindi naman natin sinasabing gusto namin pababain si presidente. But we want him to be able to hear the other side of it. To be able to discuss a little on the decision making process kung bakit ito yung pagpapa-execute niya. Sabi ni Dr. Ron, as per spy ni Maharlika, si Lisang parang gumagawa ng trabaho na pagiging presidente kaya di nila sinasali dito. O di hindi sinasali dito? Sabi ni Ma'am Indira, thank you Mag-like naman po tayo, informative lahat ng topics. Sabi ni Ma'am Cheryl, mag-like naman po kayo, madami tayo dito, 3 likes pa lang eh. Oo nga naman. Mga nega, pinipili ng Pangulo ang pinakadapat sa departamento. Sila lang ang hindi gumagawa ng tama, kaya huwag niyo sisihin ng Pangulo. Alam nyo, whipping boy naman talaga ang Pangulo. Brick says, hindi po ba conflict of interest? Di ba sinagot ko na yan? Hindi na po natin na part 2 yung heritage vlog discussion. Oo nga ang dami kasing nangyayari. So, sige, mag-heritage discussion. Uli tayo. So, sabi ni Francis, madami talagang gustong pagsabungin ng unity. Hindi pa ba kayo nagsawa sa power struggle? Hindi na tayo uusad. I think things will settle. Ganun ako mapasensya ako people will adjust. Alam mo, isa pa yan if we're giving the president time, we're also giving the people some time to adjust. It's not that easy. It was an exciting 6 years during PRRD's presidency. It's not going to be easily forgotten. Ito sabi ni Joel, I think after SONA, there's big changes in the cabinet secretaries. Gibo and Piñol coming. Fingers crossed. And last few, kasi actually may meeting pa ako. Pub says, yes, Maharlika is genuine. To the rescue siya sa naaapi. Same as Banat Bay, magaling makiramdam at maghimay-himay. May tatay kasi siyang abogado kaya humihingi ng payo doon. Sabi ni Mark, under this... Abdullah says, ang umpisa ng problema dyan sa speakership, dapat kasi si GMA ay may nagmaniobra para si Romualdez ang maging... dapat si GMA, pero may nagmaniobra. Okay, si PBBM, sabi ni Ma'am Maylene, but I hope the First Lady won't interfere with decisions. Please note to Mar Rojas. Rafi says, I've kind of lost faith in BBM, especially after he allowed the expansion of EDCA when he clearly indicated before elections that he's against anything like that, especially that it could strain our relationship with China. I feel like nabudol ako for voting for him. The only way he can probably earn my trust again is if he'll finally bring down the hammer on his erring cabinet officials who are doing nothing but forward big businesses' interests. You know what I like about your statement, although I don't agree with everything, is that you still keep the door open. Kasi, there's nothing we can do. He is our president. And we may not be happy with some of his policies. Pero we should always keep giving him a chance to, either to rectify the situation or for him to get to work on other important things. Lindsay says, what can you say about RT's brand of justice? It's not justice when you cut due process, ma'am. What about using his position? Well, I answered that one. But I think he has an imperfect understanding of what due process is. Glorious says, alam naman namin na tapos ng term ni FPRRD. Kung secure kayo, di kayo dapat magtaas ng kilay. Bawal ako magtaas ng kilay? Baka lang. I get it. Pwede bang tawagin na malaking negosyo ang Rafi in Action Channel? Kasi namumuhunan siya ng pera, pantulong, pero ang kapalit naman ay maraming views at maraming kita. Actually, it is a business. So, Sabi ni Teacher Mark reacts, hopefully BBM will call out the politiko na puro grandstanding and sinisira yung credibility ng executive department. I know it is not his nature, pero sana there will be exceptions. See? Pwede naman natin sabihin yung mga ganyan, di ba, in that way. Hindi tayo dapat parating palaaway. Wala na yung mga dilaw na kailangan pang awayan. Ito sabi ni JMS, we miss PRRD because we love him. Because he loves his country and that will remain forever. Please lang mga BBM, mag-isip naman kayo ng tama. Pag-uwi niya naman mentality niya. Hindi naman. I think hindi lang kasi they weren't as deep into it as we were. Sabi ni Ma'am Oseng, hindi kaya may readjusting ng political alignments after VP became co-deputy chairperson for NTF-ELCA? I suppose. I suppose. Some people change decisions, sabi ni Ma'am Joan. PBBM is not in favor of EDCA when he was a senator and during campaign, but now we know what happened. What happened? Sabi ni Trying Hard Comedian, I love that. What is your take sa pag-suspend ng issuance of entry visas ng Kuwait sa Filipinos? Actually, we discussed it in Karambola. We need to get to the bottom of it kasi hindi maliwanag kung bakit eh. Diba? Ang sinasabi nila is that of course, meron na namang OFW na nasawi early this year. And then, the next thing we heard is the Kuwaiti government shut down the visas because meron daw hindi sinunod dun sa kasunduan. What that is, hindi po maliwanag. Sabi ni Sir Francis, basta ako mag-ingat ako sa ibash. Kagaya ng DAACPC Director Jojo Badjola from Laylayan to Malacanang daw. Tapos nalaman 2017 pa pala sa term ni PRRD na upo. Walang apology dun sa nag-post. Oh. May connection po kaya ang kaguluhan sa lakas at sa pagbuo ng NLA, Northern Luzon Alliance? I don't see anything in it. Kasi yung mga players during the demotion of GMA weren't there. So, sabi ko last two, tapos ang dami ko na naman binasa. Ang gagaling nyo kasi. Tinkerbell says, ang president nag-appoint kaya siya ang dapat sisihin. Inamin naman ni BBM na OJT sila. Well, hindi naman kailangan sisihin pa. Pwede siyang i-call out kung he doesn't do anything about it. Grabe, ang dami pang comments. Hindi ko na, ito. Even the Smartmatic is there, unlike before BBM condemned it, so why is it still there? Sabi ni Maverick. Sabi ni Jel Angela, pag against kay Digong, trolls na agad. Kailan ko sinabi yon? Pero yung pangalan niya troll. Somebody else. Okay. Clark Sam said, di lang nagmumura si PBBM tapos parang sinasabi nilang malambot sa pamamahala. No. That's not why he's being called malambot sa pamamahala. It isn't because hindi siya nagmumura. Hello, hindi naman tanga yung mga pro Duterte na mababaw yung magiging standard to determine weakness and strength. Huwag naman pong ganun. Parang ina-assume naman ninyo na tanga kausap ninyo. Huwag naman ganun. Because I assume first that everybody's intelligent. I think that meron talagang hinahanap lang na certain policies and certain directions. May nakapasok daw na tol. Masakit lang di mo ma-feel ang pagmamahal talaga sa bayan. Di natin maalis ang sentimiento ng Pilipino. But what I'm calling for here is understanding. Both sides. So, for those who call themselves loyalists and those who miss PRRD, I think we just need to understand each other and why we're going through this. It's adjustment. The president adjusts. We adjust to not having Digong. So, di ba, President Digong, Adjustment yan eh. And for some of us, it might take some time. Yung iba sa atin, naka-move on na. Yung iba naman sa atin, learning to live with it. So, ang ano ko lang talaga is if we want to further our cause, if we want, for instance, loyalist ka, and you want the people to understand the president or to understand his decisions, you catch more flies with honey. Intindihin nyo sa nanggagaling yung sentimento ng mga nagkikriticize. Kung may factual basis ito, then, di ba? Yes, totoo yan, ganito yan. However, the president believes that this is the correct course because this, and this. Hindi kailangan, kasi minsan, akala mo, duelo or fight to the death, eh. Parang, parang, ano ba yun? Mortal Kombat, eh. Lahat na lang ng discussions. And it's not a way to convince people. If you get angry, how are you going to convince somebody else? And hindi ba, in politics, addition yan. So kung inaaway lang natin ang inaaway, yung mga hindi nakakaunawa sa posisyon natin, imbis na magpaliwanag tayo, wala tayong aabutin. So, na yung understanding ng taong bayan para dun sa sa leaders natin. And 'di ba? Sabi ni Pinoy Peeps, do not compare attorney kay Banat. O hindi kami magkaaway ni Banat, ha? Hindi rin kami magkaaway ni Mama Harlika. She didn't understand me before, but now magkakilala na kami. Sa dating administrasyon, ang mga may disgusto ay mga drug lords, addicts, smugglers. So, ngayon masaya na sila. Okay. Sabi hindi daw nabigay ang back pay ng mga dating taga-PCO. Alam nyo, hindi yan sa term ko. Kasi before I left, I made sure I met with certain officials to make sure na yung mga tao ko ay mababayaran. The people who went into office at the same time I did because they wanted to help me out, lahat po yon bago kami umalis sa opisina ay nabayaran. So, merong iba kasi doon who stayed behind at they became responsible for those who were in leadership positions, became responsible for those na who are under them to make sure na mabayaran sila bago sila naman ang umalis. So that's the job now of the secretary to make sure na mabayaran yung back pay nila. And I had no issues with Sec Cheloy when I made sure, ninegotiate ko talaga pakibayaran lahat ng mga tao ko, lahat ng mga from day one. Kasi all the way up until the time that we left, hindi kami nabayaran. But within a few weeks after we left, nabayaran na po kami. So I think it's really up to the leadership of the groups that have not been paid na na to see kung saan yung hold up, kung bakit hindi gumagalaw. Yan. And maganda itong sabi ni Abdullah, and we can end on this note. Ako Marcos binoto namin. Pero hindi ibig sabihin kahit mali ang ginagawa ng gobyerno ni BBM ay okay lang, mali yun. So, tingnan niya, that's why gusto ko rin si Inday eh. Pag nakita niya, hindi siya agree dito. Mali itong pamumulitika sa gitna tayo ng dami ng trabaho tapos ng ganyan ang ginagawa ninyo. Take a stand. So, ganun din. So that the president will succeed, we must make sure that we can be heard about policies that we disagree with, but to also be fair in our commentary para makita din ng mga tao na, we're, it's not about personality. It's not about who the person is, but the policies and so on, because that's how government works. So on this note, thank you very much for being with me on this live. Maraming salamat sa lahat ng nagpadala ng super chat, super stickers, at saka stars, and thank you for everyone who liked and followed and yung mga hindi pa nagla-like dyan. Wala ba kayong makmay? Okay. Kasi 1/3 lang yung mga nag-like eh. So thank you very much, everybody. Yes, like I said, I'm trying to do live every day. I missed yesterday, but we'll try. We're doing live more often now. Lalo na pag may mga issues na ganito. We would like to remind everybody to don't forget to follow yung page natin, Trixie Cruz-Angeles. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Luminous. And please don't forget then, nasa TikTok kami. If you have TikTok, why don't you give us a follow? So, thank you very much, everybody. We'll see you again soon. May TikTok tayo, ha? Uh, hindi ko to. Natingnan ko yung kay Rain eh. Guys, never, ever, ever ko gagawin yung mumurahin ko any government official or even person. Posibleng murahin ko yung situation. Pero hindi natin style yan. So, everybody, please stay safe. Please stay healthy and please lang just for the sake of of uh, of the fact that we are all in this together. Let's try to be kinder to each other. Try lang naman hinihingi ko. Alam ko we will fail in many ways. Gayon pa man. To a kinder world. See you guys. Thank you very much.